Soon after it first premiered, My Hero Academia quickly became one of the most popular anime series of all time. And although its strong story, powerful themes, and amazing characters were a big part of this, the stellar fight scenes were also a massive factor in how big the series became. Because of this, we decided to round up some of the best fights in the series, from training exercises and exams to battles of life and death. Starting us off, we have what is no doubt considered to be the best fight in the entire series, both in terms of visual spectacle and in terms of story and thematic depth. We are, of course, referring to the battle between All Might and his arch-nemesis, All For One. This clash had been building up for quite some time, both within the context of the story and to the fans, who had been expecting a fight between the two characters ever since they'd first learned of All For One. Suffice it to say, there was a lot of weight behind this fight, which is part of what made it so dang awesome, since two ideals clashed against each other, given form by the symbol of peace and the symbol of evil. The battle was awesome in every way, since we got to see two very powerful beings throw everything they had at each other in an epic duel, complete with fantastic visuals that stand as some of the series' best animation. The greatest part of this fight was, without a doubt, All Might's final punch, which was delivered as One For All was leaving his body, making the character's final attack desperate, powerful, and incredibly meaningful. Next up, we have another one of the most intense fights in the series, Deku's desperate struggle against Muscular. The battle started when Muscular attacked Koda, a young boy whose parents were killed by the villain, leading him to hate heroes. Because of this, he and Deku didn't get along that well, as evidenced when he punched Deku right in the family jewels, an unforgivable act. Suffice it to say, Koda didn't like Deku's desire to be a hero, but we have no doubt that the little rascal eventually understood when he was attacked by Muscular and Izuku came to his rescue. In this fight, Deku refused to give up. Even when he was battered, bruised, and beaten, he stood his ground and showed Koda what a hero does. In doing so, he fought off Muscular with every fiber of his being. See what we did there? Fiber? Because Muscular's power is to build up muscle fibers. Bad jokes aside, this battle was absolutely awesome. Two super strong opponents throwing everything they had at each other, leading to one of the most epic endings in a fight in all of anime, when Deku broke out his 1,000,000% Delaware Detroit smash, sending Muscular flying through several feet of thick rock. While Bakugo and Midoriya's relationship is the main rivalry of My Hero Academia, Bakugo and Todoroki have also had their fair share of clashes both on and off the battlefield. It makes sense since both characters are seen as prodigies in their class, and that would definitely lead to some tension. Part of the reason that they're considered prodigies is due to their powerful quirks, powers that also made for an epic duel when they finally clashed in the UA High School Sports Festival. This battle was literally a fight of fire versus fire, plus ice, since Bakugo's explosion went head-to-head with Todoroki's fire and ice powers. Not only was the animation in this battle breathtaking, but it was awesome to see Todoroki finally embrace his firepower in a fight, using it to give everything he had against Bakugo, at least for a short moment since he had second thoughts about using his father's fire powers, a choice that ended up costing him the match. However, this didn't make the match any less exciting, since seeing two powerful heroes in training clash made for one heck of a final sports festival. At first glance, Shota Aizawa may not look like that strong of a hero. While his quirk is powerful, allowing him to deactivate quirks by looking at his target, there was nothing showing that he was such a proficient fighter. That is, until he kicked butt during the attack at USJ. As the students were in danger of being attacked by the League of Villains, Aizawa stepped in and showed just how powerful of a hero he truly is in one of the best battles in the series, and one of the best one versus many battles in all of anime. Aizawa finally showed what he was capable of, taking care of multiple enemies without breaking a sweat, thanks to his erasure quirk, as well as his impressive skill with the binding cloth and overall incredible fighting prowess. Seriously, up until this point, all we had seen of Aizawa was that he had appeared lazy and in desperate need of a nap, but this fight changed all of that, since he not only displayed amazing fighting ability, he also put his life on the line to save his students, earning several severe injuries in the process. Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo have quite the history. For the longest time, Deku looked up to Bakugo for his cool demeanor and powerful quirk, even when Bakugo treated him like garbage when he turned out quirkless. Fast forward a bit, and Deku had managed to get into UA High School alongside Bakugo, and the aggressive garbage boy had a whole new reason to hate Deku. This tension first came to the surface during the training exercise in which two teams of two students faced off against each other. As fate would have it, Deku and Bakugo ended up in a one-on-one fight, which was one of the best in the early series? Why exactly? Because not only was it awesome to watch, it also communicated a major theme of the series. That it's not the power that makes a hero, it's the person. A point that Deku made incredibly clear when he bested Bakugo in the fight, despite Bakugo thinking him to be nothing but a, well, nothing. Suffice it to say, this battle had everything. Amazing visuals, thematic depth, and a satisfying expansion of the series' biggest rivalry. Perhaps the best part of the Provisional Hero License exams was the fact that it opened with what's known as the Crushing of UA, an intense tradition wherein all the other hero schools team up to take out UA. They do so for two reasons. The first is that they see UA as being elitists, and the second reason is that because UA's sports festival was televised, they know all the powers, special moves, and most importantly, the weaknesses of those who competed. Meaning, UA students are easy targets both because their quirks and movesets are public knowledge. Sounds like an unwinnable situation, yeah? But that's actually what made the fight so exciting, since we got to see Izuku and his classmates fight and eventually win their way out of a battle where the odds were heavily stacked against them, since their teacher Aizawa failed to tell them about the crushing of UA. To be fair, he was doing it to teach them, but still kind of a jerk move, Eraserhead. In the end, however, the students of UA managed to get their licenses and show they have what it takes to be heroes. Though his role in the anime was short, the hero killer known as Stain is easily one of the best and most interesting characters in My Hero Academia. Part of what made him so interesting was his anti-hero alignment. He wasn't evil, he just hated false heroes and wanted to rid the world of those who did not fall in the same category as All Might, a hero he actually admired. This ideology was perfectly represented in Stain's fight with Izuku, Ida, and Todoroki. Since Izuku is the successor of All Might, Todoroki is the son of a false hero, Endeavor, and Ida's brother had been recently attacked by Stain. The situation was a powder keg of drama that exploded into some awesome action, making for a fight that had both epic and unique visuals as well as some prime story content. In terms of action, the main reason this fight was so unique was because it broke out in a close-quarters alleyway, forcing all the heroes in training to utilize the terrain against a villain with a hard-to-combat quirk. As for the story content, seeing Ida temporarily abandon his by-the-books ideology for a childish revenge mission made for a dramatic and emotional episode that included one of the series' coolest fights. Mirio Togata, on top of looking like an anime version of Tintin, has an interesting quirk known as Permeation. This quirk is a lot like Kitty Pryde's mutant power, allowing Mirio to move through solid objects and allow projectiles to pass through him. However, unlike Kitty Pryde, Permeation has some hurdles to navigate. Mainly, gravity takes over and sends Mirio falling through the ground, where he is blind, unable to breathe, and completely nude, since his clothes fall right through him. Because of these issues with his quirk, Mirio had to practice intensely in order to become skilled with the usage of Permeation. And he definitely did, as seen when he took on and completely annihilated all of Class 1A in a matter of minutes. Because his quirk is so dangerous to himself and because of his determination to be a hero, Mirio became an unstoppable force. All of which could be seen when he took out every 1A student without breaking a sweat, making for one of the series' coolest fights. This fight might not be in anyone else's favorites, but we say it deserves to be. The reason that most people dismiss this fight is because it's played off as a joke, since it pits two heroes in training with almost identical powers against each other, Kirishima and Tetsu. These two characters being identical has been an ongoing gag throughout the series, and this fight was one of the best iterations of it, since it was both awesome and hilarious. Despite being depicted comedically and only being a minute long, this fight went all out on visuals, choreography, and cinematic framing, since every second of the brief battle looked epic. We felt the weight of every attack. Every battle cry shook us to our core, and the framing made everything 10 times more intense. What brought this battle together was the arm wrestling tiebreaker Kirishima and Tetsu had, which featured the same intense framing and action as the previous fight, making for a great comedic end cap for a short but awesome battle. Izuku and Bakugo's first battle in the series ended with the former being the victor, but things were a bit different in their second rivalry bout, We are, of course, talking about the fight that took place prior to Deku and All Might telling Bakugo about One for All and how Deku got his quirk. This fight is, well, there's no describing how amazing it was in just a few words, since the animation was beyond beautiful. Almost feature film-like in quality, and the dramatic and emotional content and depth of the skirmish hit as hard as the blows exchanged. Because Bakugo had been seeing Deku ascend past him at blazing speeds, despite not growing up with a quirk, Bakugo had felt inferior. And learning that Deku and All Might had a close relationship made him feel overlooked by All Might, making for a lot of tensions that came out during this fight, which was both exciting and fun, especially Deku's weird spinny moves. Doesn't he get dizzy? Unlike their first battle, Bakugo won this round, but both characters lost in the end because, they basically got grounded for fighting on school grounds and using their powers without permission, being forced to do extra chores in the following episodes. We've mentioned before that Koji Koda has a surprisingly strong quirk that definitely should not be overlooked. Known as Ana Voice, Koda's quirk lets him talk to and command animals, a power that allowed him to overcome a powerful opponent. Specifically, we're talking about his and Jiro's final exam battle against Present Mike. The battle seemed unwinnable at first, since Present Mike had the two students' exit blocked by a literal wall of sound. But Koda's quirk allowed him to sneak up on their opponent with a surprise attack, attacking and distracting him long enough for the two students to get away. The fight was short and sweet, but the reason we included it in this video was because it shows the versatility of Koda's quirk. Plus, let's not forget that Koda forced himself to get over his fear of bugs when he commanded an army of them. Ochiko Uraraka isn't always depicted as the toughest or stronger member of Class 1A, but beneath her cute and bubbly exterior, she's one of the toughest, smartest, and hardest working characters in the series. Case in point, her fight against Bakugo displayed some of her battle prowess. Despite her powers not being necessarily suited for battle, Ochiko proved in this fight that she could use an opponent's destructive power against them. By tricking Bakugo into destroying the playing field and floating the debris into the air, Ochiko was able to create a meteor storm of concrete that she set off by deactivating her quirk, causing the debris to rain down in what would have been a decisive attack. Unfortunately, Bakugo was able to vaporize the falling debris with a single explosion, but the strategy and intellect that went behind planning such an attack is worthy of immense praise. Bakugo and Deku do not make a good team, something made evident by their two fights with each other. This strained relationship was the exact reason why they were designated to the same team when taking their final exam. A fight against a pro-hero teacher that was meant to test their skills as well as see how well they can do in a situation that isn't ideal. To make matters even worse, Deku and Bakugo were assigned to fight against All Might for their final exam. Even when wearing weighted arm and leg bands, Deku and Bakugo had a tough time against the impossibly strong hero, leaving them with no other option than to actually work together. Unfortunately, Bakugo's massive ego and pride didn't really leave him open to the idea. Eventually, however, the two ended up working together, well, sort of, since Bakugo just threw Deku towards the escape gate while he attempted to attack All Might and go out in a blaze of glory, forcing Deku to come back and save him in a very injury-heavy fight. Izuku Midoriya has a passion for the good that heroes do, as evidenced by his frequent bouts of crying and jumping in to save people, sometimes both at the same time. Because he was born quirkless, Deku's fight with Shoto Todoroki is one of the character's most important moments, and the same could be said of his opponent. Prior to their fight, Todoroki made it clear that he refused to use his fire powers due to the abuse he and his family suffered at the hands of his father, the person who he inherited the powers from. This act sparked a rare rage within Deku, since when the two finally fought each other, he let Todoroki have it, practically screaming that he was refusing to use his powers, his gifts. Sure, the action was cool, but the dramatic content was much more satisfying, since it started Todoroki on a path of becoming a fully realized hero. Last and certainly not least, we have the absolutely awesome final battle of the My Hero Academia film, Two Heroes. This fight was important and significant in a number of ways, the biggest reason being that it was the only instance of Deku and All Might fighting together using One for All, since it took place before All Might lost his powers forever. Because of this, the battle hit hard, the two heroes fighting together with all of their might and passion. Anyway, this fight resulted from the film's villain, Wolfram, using a quirk-enhancing device and a strength-enhancing quirk given to him by All for One to become a giant metal monster of a man. In order to defeat Wolfram, All Might and Deku gave the fight everything they had. As a result, this battle was epic, with a capital E. The combination of the ridiculously good animation, amazing choreography, and cinematography all made for a breathtakingly amazing battle that will no doubt go down as one of the best in all of anime history. So, there you have it, some of our picks for the sickest fights in all of My Hero Academia. Did we leave out any of your favorites? Were any of these a total bore? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more My Hero Academia videos. Thanks for watching.